Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day today. The market gave some good opportunities, and a lot of traders took advantage of it. And some of us didn't maximize the potential that there was in the market. So I'm raising my hand when I say that because I did not maximize the potential. And really it's been something that's been plaguing me this week. And, I've identified some things through, the reflection and journaling that I do. And we're going to talk about that here in a minute as we do our recap. But the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is avoiding the crash. And this happens to way too many traders. They end up crashing and making it, and it ends up being a total loss. And it's not something that I like to hear. There's stories that I hear from other traders. I don't like to hear that. I hate that they went through that. But the thing is, we can avoid that crash. We can avoid that crash that just takes us out completely. Now, yeah, we're gonna have dents. We're gonna have dings. We're gonna have bumps along the way, hit a few curves, but we don't have to, have that crash that just totally takes us out. And there's some things that we can do to avoid that. First, just start small. Now, I know what brought us into the industry was, we saw people posting these huge gains. They made $500 in 30 minutes or $2,500 in the first hour of the day. And we're like, look, hey, this is exactly what we want to do. And then the reality sets in, and it's like, yeah, that can happen, but can you do it consistently? Is this something that they can consistently do week to week, month to month? And the answer, really is no. I haven't seen anybody that can show me that they can make these quick hits every day or, week to week, month to month. Now, I see traders, and I know traders that make a pretty good penny trading every day. They're not, chasing runners. They're trading the market, and they're consistent, and they make money. So, you gotta start small. If you start small, and you're being a little bit more safe, more conservative, you're going at a slower pace, you're gonna avoid that big crash. So when you have these bumps, you have these bruises, you're hitting these curves, you have insurance to help take care of that. You're protected. And I don't care how much money you have, it doesn't matter. If you don't, start somewhere. If you don't start small and build your way up, you're going to have a hard time avoiding these crashes. Now, I know it's not pretty. It's not what everybody wants to do. But you think about any time we started something significant in our lives. When we learned to read, it happened over the course of several years. Writing, the same way. If we want to learn a new language, we can't go from not knowing the language to fluent, in a couple weeks. It just doesn't work that way. We can immerse ourselves in it, and we can really pick it up. But are we going to be, 100% fluent in it to where we can make a living using that language? No, it's not going to happen. So got to start small. The next thing is stay alert and focus on your trade. What happens too often is that we're in a trade and then we're looking to see what other people are doing that's trading the same thing. Or we're looking at somebody else posting larger gains on another stock that we might have had on our watch list that we didn't choose. And, we end up not paying attention to what we're doing and missing out on the potential of our trade and watching what other people do. That's something that we can't do. So most accidents, happen when we're not paying attention, when we're distracted. That's when most accidents happen. And that can happen to us here in trading. If we're not focused and paying attention, we can have that big crash that takes us out. And last but not least, reflect and journal each trade. Number one, that's going to stop you from over trading if you're over trading. It slows me down, that's for sure. But it helps you identify the problems that can keep you from getting these bumps and bruises and to really stay away from the crash. Anything we can do to prevent ourselves from, putting ourselves in danger, that's what we need to do. I know we want to learn and we want to start making money fast, but look at what we've done over the last 2 months. We're 2 months, 2 months of the second quarter's done. I started with $1,800. We started trading small. The first couple of weeks I couldn't get out of my own way, but just wait till you see where we're at now, and tell me that trading small and building consistency, does not work, because it does. So remember, you want to start small. Start trading small. Get comfortable with what you're doing. Make sure that if you do run into a problem, you do tap a wall or hit a curve or whatever, that it doesn't take you out. Stay alert. Focus on your own trade. Focus on what you're doing. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. You do you. Because in the end, the only person that's going to put money in your bank account is going to be you. And then lastly, reflect and journal your trade. That's going to help you get to that next level. All of the traders, I work with a lot of traders. The ones who don't journal, who don't take it seriously, who don't reflect, and they cheat themselves on this, they never make it. Honestly, they just don't make it. Because the growth comes when you start analyzing and looking at your trades and continuing to do what works and fixing what's broke. The only way you can do that is to see it every day, to analyze your trades and go through them every day so that you can figure it out. All right, so the stock that I looked at this morning, this was the one that I chose to trade for opening range trade. Is the one that set up first. Obviously we had DLTR, we had DG on our watch. I think Box was on our watch, and there was one more I can't remember that I didn't trade. But this one was setting up nice. I like the fact that we opened right under this 90-day, and we tried, we pushed up a little bit, and then we start to sell off. So I like the way this thing was looking. I figured, 29.52 would be the first push down, and then we might get the 28 or dip down to this 27.78. Later on. I didn't think we were going to get through this level here. I honestly didn't. Much less get down and get through the 200 here. Did not expect this at all. But I was looking for a decent move out of this. So And so we got this on the opening range trade, but I didn't use the wick. You can see we put in a longer wick. The wick's longer than the body. I'm going to defer to the body because we had enough room between where we were and the first target. So we got in. Now my stop on these, typically it's going to be a close back above the opening range low. In this case, since we're not using the opening range low, my stop was back above this level here, this 29.37. If we close back above this, I was going to take the trade off and sit back and wait for a clean setup. But this was, $100 my max loss. So no matter what, on every trade I take, $100 is my max loss. So I went in with 200 shares. This had a 50-cent max loss stop. But the technical stop is going to be the technical level. So I'm always going to have two stops on my trade. The technical stop is going to let me know the trade plan is dead. And I have a max loss stop that's going to protect me in case of a pop. And the stocks just start running away from me. So those are the two stops I had. My first target was right here at this 28.51. Actually got a little bit better. Target fell on this target, got down to 28.40. But that was it. It turned around on me, and I wasn't going to let it go all the way back to break even and stop me out. I killed it. And, here we just turned around and we started grinding back up. Now, normally, I would stay and keep this on watch and look for the rejection to get back in. When I looked at this, I just thought, okay, we're going. It's not going to come back. And I took my eye off of it because I was looking at other stuff. But any stock that you get into, you want to keep your eye on it because most of the time it's going to set back up. And this set up, and I missed the big meat of this move. Missed it. And of course, I got upset. And at lunch, I got back in here thinking we were going to get the rejection. Got in 200 shares here. Just traded sideways all through lunch. And I'm like, whatever. So I'm getting ready to leave, and I'm like, well, I'm going to add 300 shares to this and give it a 20-cent stop. And, hey, if it stops me out, it does. If it doesn't, I ought to have a pretty decent trade. So I put in my first target here at 27.75, which it hit before I could get back home. As soon as I got home and cut the computer on, within a minute or two, this thing came back and stopped me out at break even. So I was done with this, and I was, kind of sweaty and messed from being outside. It was real humid, and so I decided to, hey, wash up. I go in to wash up, and I've got my phone in the shower. I'm always. And I see, I just go to see what's going on with this out of curiosity. This thing is selling off right down to this, right back to this 27.24 level. And I'm like livid. I'm screaming, hollering. I'm mad because I should have been in this. And so I kind of waited, and once we kind of established below this 27.24, because this is where we stopped the last time, I figured if we get through it, I can take it, and this would be my target here. But got in it, took some off here, took the rest off here, and then got back in it again. This was kind of an accident. and ended up, working it out. But should have made $500 on this trade easy on this stock. This should have been a killer day. Again, just like OLED, a big miss this week. This was a big miss. And I'm just in this funk where I'm losing my patience. If the stock doesn't follow through, I'm losing patience with it. And that's not me. One of my strengths, one of my strong points has always been my discipline and my patience. Being able to allow a trade to work. Trusting my technicals. Not just snatching up, profit. And it's not really, snatching it up too early. That is actually coming back and taking me out. But I should be right there to re-engage, knowing that this stock's probably going to follow the path that I have for it. But that's something that I have to work on going into next week, going into this last month of the quarter. We want to finish strong. That's our goal. DG was the other one that I ran to once I got out of GLNG DG was another one I was looking at. This one I was looking for it to fade going into the conference call. And so I got in here and it didn't fade. It didn't really fade. I took a piece off here when we were bouncing. Then it came back and took me out at break even. Then I went and tried to short it again for some odd, strange reason and ended up stopping out. And here I waited until it pushed up. It rejected. It got in under these moving averages. I got short. We pushed up and tested this again, which it does it does a lot of times. But this was well within, my range. My stop obviously was a close back above this and a confirm. This candle closed above it, but this candle couldn't confirm it. And we were coming back down. This was a trap for those that were looking to go long on this. They just got trapped and it came on down and made the move. I took it off here and then we started, looks like we were bouncing. So again, it bounced me back out. It took me out here and again it pushed up, tested the moving averages and ended up selling off big time. So I should have still had a piece of this and would have caught this huge move. Again, my patience. I'm not being patient with these trades like I normally am. And it's really, really been hurting my profit potential. We've been making money. It's okay. We're growing our account. But part of what we need to be working on at this time is we need to be working on our execution and making sure that we're maximizing the potential of the trade that we're in, because we're trading smaller size. And the way you make money trading smaller size is to maximize the potential that the stock has in it. Catching the meat of the move. Not scalping small moves, not taking them. Now, if that's all it's giving you, then you got to take it. But make sure you're making money doing it. And that you're not leaving a lot of these big moves on the table. And I left a lot on the table the last couple of weeks. And that's something that I'm going to have to work really hard and really focus on going into June. All right, so for the month of May, we closed it out, pretty strong. We had a red day on Monday, but for the week, 485.62. I know we got tomorrow going. Tomorrow may not be the best day for me to trade, so I don't know. We'll wait and see. But so far we did 485.62 this week. For the month, 2265.84. Awesome. Awesome. From where we started in April. Look at April. And look at May. I'm trading the same share sizes. All I did was I had to come and clean up my trades. And some days we do have small wins. Look, $3.30, $3.30 here, $10.59 here, $60 here. But look, we had a good day. I took advantage of it, and we had a good week. This week, was a little bit stressful. I know I made a mistake here. Cost me, $208. I probably could have fought and made it back. But the smart thing to do is to shut down. If you're not there, you got to shut it down. So you see, this month, we only have 4 red days. And, we ended it strong. So for the quarter so far, 2459.08, we've grown our account 136% since the start of this quarter. Now I get a lot of questions about, am I going to start over? No, I'm not starting over. But if you're starting with a small account, you can still jump in. You can still join in and watch, because I am still trading for this whole month. The next month, I'm still trading the same share size that I did when I was, started out with $1,800. Trading the same share size. I'm not, for me, I always teach and I try to tell everybody, you want to do this thing in 90-day increments. 30 days a minimum, 90 days is ideal. So after next month, when we go into the third quarter, that's when I'm going to bump up a little bit. Not much. I'm not going to make this huge jump. I'm going to take the next step. I'm going to gradually increase my position size. See if we get comfortable, trading larger size in the third quarter. And then we just move up from there. Now, my bounce, so we're at 4104.65. I waited until after midnight for this thing to update. And, so you can see exactly where we are right now. So we're at 4104.65. The only subtraction that we had coming out of this was our platform fee this past month. Tomorrow they're going to take out another 124. So we'll probably be back down to 39 something. But, this is exactly what we want to do. Now, at the end of the month, going into the next quarter, we'll be trading, we're going to start the $5,000 deal. If you don't know what I mean by that, let's go right here. If you go on YouTube and you look up Ed Warrior Trading, this video is still up. I'm surprised they haven't killed it yet. But this talks about when I started every month with $5,000, and whatever I made over that $5,000 at the end of the month, I wired it out. And I started over the next month with $5,000. There's a reason to this. I'm going to share that with you this coming, in June, in one of the Wednesday sessions that we do. You know, there's a whole process. There's a reason that I did this, and there was a way that I grew, you know, my account, and I was able to open up a speed trader account. So that was, you know, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm started exactly like I did at the beginning. I made it, you know, at the end of 2014. I had, you know, about 9,800 bucks. I brought it to 5K. We had a great Christmas, and from then I never looked back. I think if you go on the website, they still have the second. You know, this was the first video. I don't see the second video up anymore, but they have the case study there. You know, that's still up. No, it's just under Edwin. They eliminated all the other stuff that connected it back to me. But that, you know, talks about where I was, you know, in 18 months. And that's what we're going to duplicate. And that's what I'm taking you through step by step by step. I made a living. I worked my way or traded my way out of my job by trading $5,000 a month. That's what I did. Traded my way out of my job. And it's all documented on my blog. I wrote it up. And then once I started doing the videos, it's on the videos. So everything is right there in black and white for you. And obviously, if you have any questions, you can ask me, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. So that's going to do it for me tonight. We'll get back at it first thing in the morning, and we'll see how we can start this June off. The last month of the second quarter. See if we can finish it strong.